Teenage Girl 30 here, and I know I'm terribly behind in these, but honestly, I'm going to do my best to try to fit all these Q&A questions in this video without making it go 20 minutes. Let's get started with, um, I guess, Shororo Hirer. I do not know how to say your name, but I know that you used to be, the real Spider-Man Noir fan. I missed that name, man. It was easier to pronounce. But you have two sets of questions for me, so let's get started on the first set. Um, can you catch a fly in your mouth like Bray Wyatt? No, and I'd rather not. Would you eat anything? Do you ever eat anything while watching videos on YouTube? Occasionally, sometimes I eat like some pizza or maybe some dinner or like something like. Sometimes I do. Um, most of the time it's probably candy or just maybe carrots or something to snack on. That's what I usually do sometimes. Um, what do you think of the Young Bucks in TNA, aka Generation Me? Gosh, I really wasn't into TNA back then when Generation Me actually did come out, but I just now got into TNA about maybe 2 years ago, so I really don't know much about them. But I'm gonna probably go back and watch their footage, just like I did with the Beautiful People. Let's go with your second set of questions that you have for me. What if your Tama girl came out of the closet to you saying that she likes chicks? Um, Honestly, I mean, even if she did come out and just said that she actually likes chicks, it wouldn't bother me at all. That'll be her prerogative. And she says she's deeply in love with you and she wanted you to be her girlfriend in a relationship. What would you say to her? That I'm not really into girls. I mean, I'm sorry. I appreciate you feeling that way, but I'm just not into girls. Do you like popcorn? Oh yes, especially kettle corn. Kettle corn is my favorite. Um, Thank you for sending me those questions. The next set of questions comes from Final Limits One. How did you react in October 2007 when Candice Michelle was fighting Beth Phoenix and she fell off the turnbuckle and almost broke her neck? Um, Honestly, I didn't know she nearly broke her neck, but good grief, man. What do you think of Cream Craig's new haircut? He looks a lot older. He looks a lot older, a lot more mature with his haircut like that. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Um, have you ever beaten Ultima Weapon in Final Fantasy VIII? I am. um, Honestly, I was really stuck on Final Fantasy VIII for the longest. So when I gave up at a certain point, my sister continued to play the game, and she was able to get through it all the way to Ultimecia. So honestly, I just quit. I gave up. I was so frustrated. I'm like, here, and I gave that to her, and she ended up beating the game. So I'm like, man. Thoughts on the Usos? I think they're cool, especially Jimmy Uso. I watched like a lot of episodes of Total Divas, and Jimmy Uso is hilarious. I'm telling you, man, he is funny, and plus they're a really great tag team. And seeing how they're getting a lot more momentum going on since this past Raw when they beat 3 and B, I think they're probably going to be up to getting the tag team titles. I mean, who knows? What is your favorite episode of Total Divas as of now? Oh, there's so many. I mean, there's really so many episodes. The episode that I liked the most was this past episode when Ariane tried to get boobies. It was kind of funny that every time she danced with her boobies on, it kept popping out, and it popped out in the pool. So I mean, I thought that was actually pretty funny. And plus, it really did kind of open up when the Bella twins, especially Nikki Bella, was dealing with the fact that people thought she was a fat twin when she just has shape. She has more shape than Brie, and I actually like Nikki. I like Nikki's curves more than Brie. Brie is just a stick, and it also kind of opened up Natalia because you really didn't. I mean, you knew about her engagement back then, but it just really wasn't announced. And she's married now, but it's like you really didn't know how completely messed up and her relationship was since he got injured. And I was like, dang, man. I mean, is that how it is every time you come home? And even if now he's being romantic, is it going to be stuck that way? I mean, like, is it going to always be that way? And I don't know. It was a really good episode. I like this past episode. Moving on from there to Kimahari Ronzo. What are your thoughts on actress Lily Collins? I really don't know who she is. I don't have a clue. Um, what did you think if okay? What did you think of when the Bella twins made their debut and only Brie Bella wrestled, pretending to be only one going under the ring swapping places with Nikki. I really thought that was pretty creative. To be honest with you, I really did. At first you kind of can tell because their noses are different. Like Brie has a skinnier nose than Nikki, and it's like you could tell like their faces are a little bit different. So in a way, I kind of knew that it wasn't the same person. I knew that they were twins, but I think it was pretty innovative and creative at the time, and I liked it. I really did like their twin magic. Um, sorry, I'm the grammar police, but I noticed that you spelled that. I've noticed that you spelled what? Okay, I'm sorry that I'm the grammar police, and I noticed you spelled your as your did. Okay, you spell you as your okay, whatever. Did you know that did you know that your is a proper way of spelling? It's a proper way to spell when you are trying to say someone and not your. Um, look, I know your means you. I mean your with the apostrophe re means you are, and then there's also your, which is yours, or your as in like referring to yourself, and then yours, which is referring to yourself. I don't know. All I know is that I don't get my grammar right sometimes. Sue me. That's all I have to say about that. Um, what did you think of the Bella Twins first theme that they used in '08? Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what their theme was. I like their theme now, but I can't remember what it was. I actually thought it was the same thing, but either or, I don't know. I can't remember how it used to be, but I like it now. I like their current one. Um, did you think? Do you think the Usos look like their father or The Rock? Um, gosh, they look like their dad. Like they look like Rikishi. Like seriously, they have the nose, they got the face, they got the attitude. They act like Rikishi, straight up. Um, who do you think they look like more? And can you tell them apart? Like I said, they look like Rikishi. And honestly, I really never looked at them face to face. I mean, I look at Jimmy, and Jimmy's a lot thicker. Jay. I mean, I don't know. I really never had a chance to look at them both from side to side. I never really paid attention. But honestly, Jimmy's a lot thicker than Jay. Like, body wise, I haven't really looked at their faces, but their body, I think Jay is skinnier than Jimmy. Jimmy's a lot thicker than Jay. And that's how I really see it. They're a little bit, like, one has a lot more stout than Jay. You know, I mean, that's how I see it. But anyway, I don't want to make this Q&A too long, so let's move on from here. The next set of questions actually comes from, Final Limits 1 actually has another set for me. Did you ever have a crush on a teacher at school? No. What was your favorite subject in school? Didn't really have one. I guess band. Was pretty much my favorite subject. Ever ditch class in school? The only time I ever ditched class was senior skip day. That was the only time I did. We had permission to do it. Ever got in trouble in school? No. Ever disliked a teacher or had a mean teacher at school? Yeah, I had a lot of mean teachers because I have ADHD, and in the 80s, they really didn't know what it was, so they actually thought that I was misbehaving, so they kind of treated me like crap. They didn't really mean to, but they just didn't really know what I had and what it was at the time because not a lot of people knew what it was. So they kind of treated me differently than my sister, and they kind of expected me to act like my sister, so they kind of did treat me unfairly back then, but it's okay. It's okay now. Water under the bridge. I'm out of school now. What was the worst thing you've ever experienced at school or saw someone experience? I guess being bullied. Like the worst experience that I ever had was being bullied, and especially in junior high, it was brutal. I was really overweight. And kids are just mean to you when you're overweight, and that's just how it is. And especially when guys pretend to like you just to have their friends make fun of you, that's even worse. So, things like that really happened back then, but kids just do that these days just to be mean. My next set of questions comes from King Romeo. Um, what fears? Okay. What are your fears in life? I really don't have that many. I don't know. I really don't have that many fears anymore. I had plenty of them, but I don't really have them that many anymore. So it's not really not a lot of fears bother me. Um, what do you love most in this world? I love nature. I really do. I love nature. It's beautiful. It's just one of God's most beautiful creations. And just looking at outside and outdoors in the forest, it just shows you that God don't make ugly. God gives us the best, and that's why I absolutely love the outdoors. Um, if insulted and you got pissed off, are you violent towards towards the person that pissed you off and insults you? And how do you handle situations like that? For example, for some strange reason, because I have natural hair, people keep referring me to the Lex Man, or when I have my hair in twists, or people say that I kind of look like a guy when I have my hair in twists. The fact is that I'm like, no, I'm not a dude. I have boobs. So no, I am not a guy. And I'm honestly not so violent towards them. I just tell them, look, I'm not a guy. If you want to be a jerk, go ahead, be a jerk somewhere else, but out of my face. And I just go on my merry way. I don't sit there and insult anybody or try to downgrade them, but I know what I am, and God knows what I am, and I just walk on. You know, life is too short to have people bother you like that. Um, Thoughts on Darren Young coming out of the closet as a homosexual? I'm actually surprised that he did it at an airport with TMC just said hello and nobody asked him. Just for the fact that he actually just came out and said it when he really wasn't pressured to. It's something I'm like, okay, that's kind of odd. You know, I mean, maybe it was something that weighed heavily on his mind for a long time. He just put it out there just to put it out there just to get it out the way. But honestly, I got no beef with him being gay. Like, if I kind of knew that he had to be gay because the guy had his hair was way too coiffed, his skin was way too polished, like no blemishes at all, and he was clean and dapper. There are guys who are clean and dapper, you know, they actually look good, but you know that some and they're called metros. But even if they are metros, you can still tell that they like girls. But with him, I kind of knew he was kind of gay. Like, I just had a feeling that he was just gay. That was just me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe my gaydar was on. I have no idea. But I kind of knew he was already gay. But thanks for the questions. Next set of questions comes from WCW3 Count 123. Why does NJ talk so slow? He talks like he's in slow mo. He talks like he's on slow mo. That's why I like Dan better out of the two. Well, I mean, that's how you feel. I mean, honestly, NJ takes his time when it comes to saying certain things. He doesn't try to rush it, and he's really methodical. He thinks everything out, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like a guy that's that mellow. And as Daniel actually does speak like an announcer. Like, he actually just goes. But he's used to that high pace, and that's why he speaks that way. But honestly, and plus NJ really has a very strong accent. Maybe he doesn't realize it, but he has a very strong accent. And I don't think that's the reason why he speaks slow. I just think that he's just really mellow and he just takes his time when it comes to certain things. That's just how he is. Why do you stop using your original theme song for your Q&A videos? Okay, the one that was before was way better in my opinion. Yeah, I like Pete Yorn. I'm a big fan of Undercover. That's the name of the song for Pete Yorn. But with YouTube being all insane about copyrights and everything, and I am tired of my page getting pinged for the smallest of small things, and that's the reason why I switched from having Pete Yorn, which is on the Spider-Man soundtrack, to having a royalty, and from going to doing royalty-free music. I ended up getting Springtide Indie Air. Indie Air from Springtide, and that happens to be royalty-free music. So YouTube cannot do anything to my channel saying that I'm trying to copyright anybody because it's royalty-free. And that's the reason why I chose to switch from Pete Yorn to that. I like Pete Yorn. I thought it actually fit my Q&A better, but I'm just tired of being pinged. So that's the reason why I did it. But thanks for that question. It's very, very good question. Why do you call your Q&As mini? The reason why is because A Q&A, in my humble opinion, actually consists of a massive amount of questions, like at least from 10 to 20. And I usually don't have that many. The first Q&A that I ever started off with, I had 2 people. Then I had 3 people. Then I had 5. Then I had 8. And it started growing from there. I still call them mini because it's just, it's just something that's stuck. But honestly, I just don't have that many people sending me questions at first. And that's why I called it mini. But as you can see, I'm at the 15-minute mark, so yeah, it's not entirely mini when it comes to minutes. But as for people sending me questions, yes, it's actually, I consider it mini. It's not like the British Fist that has like a whole catalog of people sending them questions all the time. But my next the next question you have for me is, why do you take so long on doing your Q&A videos, like weeks sometimes? It's not the fact that I take a long time. It's just that, like I said before, my health has been going up and down. I've been busy with work. There's times that I just don't really have time to do a Q&A, or I just don't feel up to doing a Q&A. So that's the reason why it takes so long for me to actually put these out there. And I really rather do it randomly than actually just have it as a schedule, because sometimes my schedule doesn't really stick. For example, I didn't really have my Raw review out until Tuesday. And usually on Tuesday is when I have my Wrestler's Graveyard. And I decide, okay, now that I have that on Tuesday, I have that video out, so I'll just do my Wrestling Graveyard at another date. I'll probably do that maybe sometime next week. But either or, if I have a video in its place, that's just how it is. I don't mean to do it on purpose. I just don't want to just oversaturate videos on you guys. But honestly, that's a really great set of questions, and thank you for sending me that. Final Limits is the last set of questions that I have. And your question for me is, have you ever eaten a hot sausage like a Slim Jim? I didn't think a Slim Jim was hot, but I've had a Slim Jim before, and it's not bad. It's just really, really spicy. What games do you plan on getting for your Genesis? Honestly, my Genesis is starting to break down. I don't think I'm going to get anything more from that, but I am going to get the Sonic collection, where it has all Sonic games, including Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because my Sonic 3 and Knuckles isn't working anymore. So I'm actually going to try to get that for my Xbox, if I can get my Xbox Live to work, which I doubt. Thoughts on Hayden Panettiere, and will she ever join other child stars in the darkness like Bonds and Lohan? Lohan is actually starting to get herself together. She's actually trying to get herself better. I don't know about Amanda Bynes. She's still in the psych ward. But honestly, I'm hoping that Hayden Panettiere doesn't go down the same route they do. I'm hoping they don't. Ever watched the TV show Good Times from the 70s? Oh yeah, I love Good Times. I mean, that was a really great show, and it was sad. And I think I had a chance to actually see the ending when everybody finally got out of the hood, and I think that was really great to watch. Have you ever played any wrestling games for Super Nintendo or Genesis? Super Nintendo Attitude? That was the only wrestling game I ever played. I haven't really played any wrestling games since. I have for the previous wrestling game that came out during WrestleMania 27, but there were so many glitches in it, it was really hard to actually have fun playing it. You couldn't play Hell in a Cell because the Hell in a Cell would never work. So honestly, yeah, I really haven't played anything since, but that was the only game that I have played for that time. But thanks, guys, for sending me these questions. Unfortunately, I'm almost at the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. If you do have any other questions to send me, please send it to my YouTube inbox or via Twitter at RKH30, hashtag NatureGirlQ&A. It's NatureGirl30 signing off. Peace out. Later.